It's Junkman at NAMM 2022, and I'm at the Ludwig booth with yet another old friend, my friend Mike Nealand over here from Ludwig. How are you, man?
I'm well, my friend. How are you?
Always a pleasure to see you at NAMM, and we were talking a little bit earlier. I mean, the big thing about NAMM this year is, we've had such a break in the action. 2022, everything got shut down. You had some very positive things to say about the lockdown. Give us a little insight on that. Basically what you were telling me just a moment ago.
Well, it's a lot of people talk in with bad memories and fear of the dreaded 2020, and there were a lot of companies, and there were let's face it, there were a lot of businesses that got either shut down or hurt badly in 2020. And the cool thing about the music, and at least is from our perspective, is if anything, being locked up increased demand, and it increased people that wanted to go because they had time now. Like, I've always wanted to kind of learn how to go do this, and I've always wanted to play drums or guitar or home recording or whatever it is, and it gave them that time. And what it's done for the overall, for us in the drum industry specifically, is the demand is as great, if not greater, than it ever was. It's definitely a challenge to get product in, like everybody else. Go buy anything. And you're going to wait for it. But the orders don't get canceled. They still, they'll wait for, if it takes 6 months to get something, they'll wait for it. We've been conditioned now to not be as instant gratification as we were. And I think that shows, like, the attendance this year, yeah, the attendance is light for a million reasons, But when you look at what the orders that are coming in and the enthusiasm about instruments and music, I think it's just as strong, if not stronger, than it's ever been.
Well, with an iconic brand like Ludwig, man, I mean, it's just, everybody wants, every drummer wants a Ludwig drum kit. Whether they have a Ludwig drum kit or not, they either want one or have had one and have always been happy with it. And it's got to be interesting. It's like, it's an iconic brand, obviously, but again, just different things that you learn from the shutdown from 2020 that are applying to 2022 that maybe you might have gone a different way and that are working for you. Everything has changed. Certainly the online component and people not being able to go into stores and physically go touch stuff, that's been an impact. But it's shifted. It's shifted to, you have dealers now, and the dealers that are healthy and still surviving are the ones that adapted. There were dealers. I years ago I dealt with this guy, and I was new to the job, and I walked in and I asked the owner of the store why do you guys have a website? It's a fad. It's going away, and I was kind of like, okay, gotta go, dude, see ya. Because you're Walking Dead basically. So the music stores, the ones that have adapted, and it's not just a music store anymore. It's lessons, and it's rentals, and it's there's all these other aspects of it besides just going, hey, you want to buy a drum kit? So the smart ones and the successful ones are the ones that adapted. We've all had to adapt, right. Whether it's the music industry or even parents with kids or whatever. The overall theme has been adapting and changing. And the stronger dealers are the ones that have embraced that, certainly. I love that fact that you can do exactly that. You've been able to adapt and be amongst the leaders in the market and place and stuff like that. But another question I've got, last year and they went kind of virtual. Tell us about how Ludwig did that with the virtual NAMM show that they basically did.
Well, honestly, we didn't participate.
No, not at all.
No, it was. I'm not sure. I'm sure you'll hear that it was successful, and and if it was my job to tell you it was successful, of course we would, right? But no, we in our adapt, and instead of doing this, we took the advantage of bringing our key dealers to us. We've got a fantastic manufacturing facility in Monroe, North Carolina. We still use, like, when you go into our factory and you look at the machinery and some of the molds that we use, like, okay, so we all know Ringo and we all know Bonzo and we all know Ginger and all the pantheon of Ludwig drummers, right? But, like, you can still buy a Ludwig drum kit brand new today that was made on some of the machinery that made Ringo's kit.
Right. You know, and we have
In America.
In America, in North Carolina, and so we brought the dealer base to us, and a lot of manufacturers are doing that. It's the larger ones who can afford to do it and who have the facility to do it. And what that really did for us was a lot of our dealer base had never been to the factory before. They'd never seen it. And when you're there and you're, you know, steeped in it, it's kind of hard not to get excited about it. You know, any good factory is going to get you excited. Go to the, you know, any of our, you know, there's a million of them. And if you are already inherently passionate about your instrument, it really doesn't, you know this, it doesn't take much to get you going, you know, when you already have that excitement about it. So, you know, we're glad to be back in person. We're glad to be here and interfacing with, you know, with the dealer base that is here. And with our, it's always great to see friends. It's always great to see you.
I take that as a compliment.
After these many years.
Right, exactly.
And so yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, we'll see what happens. But I mean, the good news is the industry, the demand certainly in the industry is very healthy.
Good. It's a big question that has been asked about. You know, a lot of people are really had a bad time the last couple of years, and it's just very refreshing to know that you've got such a positive outlook on it, and things have been going again very positive.
Yeah, and go figure. I mean, we're in our 113th year, 12th year, something like that, since 1909. And so if you know, we're old guys, we figured it out.
Yeah. Well, Ludwig lives on.
Yes, sir.
And coming up with still new finishes. Tell us about this finish that you've got right here.
This is called Digital Black Sparkle. We did a wrap for our new Sonic series of drums. We basically wanted to take our Black Oyster finish, which is still our #1 selling finish. You know, everybody wants a Ringo kit. And what would it be if we took that finish and ran it in through like you know, an 8-bit computer kind of thing? And that's where it came from. And so this was the next step with it, where we combined it with a sparkle finish. And you know, you got to keep trying stuff, and you got to keep trying new stuff. And does everybody love everything? No. But that's why it's cool, you know. There's you know, and this has done really well for us, you know. And admittedly, when you know, in my old crusty mentality, I was like, I don't know about that, but you know, it has indeed sold. And I'm watching who's buying it, and it's all these younger guys that I would have. Oh yeah, that's reminding me that, you know, as my kids remind me, I'm getting to be a geezer now, you know, and maybe I'm not the hippest guy on the block anymore.
Sure you are.
Yeah, keep talking.
Well, you can always remember the Ludwig classic badge over there too, you know, the olive and blue. Yep. And, you know, so again, appreciate you talking with us here at VintageRock.com, man. I mean, always good to see you.
Always good to see you too.
Happy NAMM, and it is a happy NAMM 2022 Junkman for VintageRock.com.